Jeffrey Epstein's case is not just a criminal story, but rather the story of a frightening network of the world's powerful people. This case shows us how money, power, and influence come together to weaken the law. Epstein was a billionaire financier, but his real identity was defined by his elite connections. According to reports, his relationships extended to powerful politicians, Hollywood stars, business tycoons, and even members of royal families around the world. Flight logs, court documents, and media investigations show that many famous individuals traveled on Epstein's private jet and to his private island. However, it is important to understand that mere association does not mean that a crime is proven. The most terrifying aspect of Epstein was his blackmail network. According to allegations, he trapped elite individuals in illegal and immoral situations and then secretly recorded those activities. Experts say that Epstein used cameras, hidden rooms, and compromising footage to exert pressure on powerful people. Through this blackmail, he maintained his protection and influence. Epstein was not alone. Ghislaine Maxwell, who was later convicted, is considered a central part of this network. She is accused of recruiting underage victims and delivering them to elite circles. This network was not limited to sex crimes alone. Reports suggest that this system was also used for political favors, financial crimes, and intelligence-level leverage. Many well-known politicians and celebrities have documented photos and meetings with Epstein. Media investigations raised the question of why Epstein was protected for so long despite his immense power. In 2008, Epstein received a highly controversial deal in which he was given a very light sentence. This deal raised questions worldwide about whether the justice system is different for powerful people. In 2019, Epstein's death inside jail made this case even more mysterious. Official reports call it a suicide. It is also true that photos of Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and Michael Jackson with Epstein and their names have come before the world. However, the appearance of images or meetings alone is not enough to declare any person responsible for a crime. If someone has truly committed a crime, then the decision can only be made by a court, not by social media or public opinion. This is also an aspect that is often discussed, that if Epstein trapped these famous individuals in wrongdoing, manipulated them, or blackmailed them, then the primary responsibility for the crime falls on Epstein himself. In such a situation, if any person was involved under pressure or blackmail, then their legal judgment should also be made only through evidence and due court process. And if it is proven that Epstein's death was not a suicide but a murder, then the crime does not remain limited to exploitation alone, but the crime of murder is also included. In this case, the real criminal would be the one who committed this murder, regardless of whether they belong to any powerful circle. Today, many statements, theories, and claims related to the Epstein case are circulating on social media. Some of these are completely fake, some are based on half-truths, and some may even contain elements of reality. But the problem is that on social media, truth and lies often get mixed together. That is why it is necessary that we do not believe every viral claim and do not declare every famous name guilty without a verdict. The complete truth of this entire case can come out only and only through court decisions, legal investigations, and solid evidence, because the final decision of truth is not made by the public, but by the law. The Jeffrey Epstein case is far more than just a criminal story. It is a chilling chronicle of a global network of the world's most powerful people. This case exposes how money, power, and influence can converge to compromise the very foundations of the law. Epstein was a billionaire financier, but his true identity was defined by his elite connections, relationships that stretched across the globe, involving powerful politicians, Hollywood icons, business tycoons, and even royalty. While flight logs and court documents confirm that many famous figures visited his private jet and island, it is crucial to remember that association alone does not prove a crime. However, the most terrifying aspect of Epstein's operation was his alleged blackmail network. Experts suggest he used hidden cameras and compromised rooms to trap the elite in illegal situations, creating a compromise system that ensured his protection and maintained his influence for decades. In this dark narrative, Epstein did not act alone. Ghislaine Maxwell, later convicted for her role, was the central pillar of this network. She wasn't just a companion, she was the recruiter, allegedly luring underage victims into this elite circle. This system went beyond sex crimes. Reports suggest it functioned as a mechanism for political favors, financial crimes, and intelligence-level leverage. Today, the world is fixated on the names of Donald Trump, Bill Gates, and Michael Jackson, whose photos and meetings with Epstein have surfaced. Recent viral claims even allege that some were involved in the abuse of minors. While the late Michael Jackson can no longer face legal proceedings, we must distinguish between social media allegations and courtroom facts. Photos and associations are not definitive proof of guilt. In a fair society, the final verdict belongs to the courts, not the court of public opinion. Looking back, the 2008 non-prosecution agreement remains one of the greatest stains on the justice system. It was a deal that allowed Epstein to escape serious punishment for heinous crimes, proving that when wealth meets politics, justice often turns a blind eye. Yet, the 2021 conviction of Ghislaine Maxwell served as a reminder that no matter how much time passes, the wheels of justice eventually turn. Beyond the recruitment, the sheer volume of blackmail material, thousands of photos and videos, reveals why Epstein remained untouchable for so long. His private island, Little St. James, stands as a grim monument to these crimes, a place where humanity was discarded for the pleasure of the powerful. The mystery only deepened with Epstein's death in a high-security cell in 2019. The failure of security cameras and the simultaneous sleeping of guards have fueled endless theories. Was it suicide, or was he silenced to protect the secrets of the world's most powerful men? This question will haunt the case forever. Despite his death, the fight continued in civil courts, where victims sought justice against his massive estate. This struggle proved that even if a predator escapes a prison cell, their legacy and wealth can still be used to provide some measure of closure to those they harmed. As we navigate an era of AI and deep fakes, we must be cautious. Not every viral image is a smoking gun, and not every claim is reality. The Epstein case is a glimpse into a global human trafficking machine that operated in the shadows of high society from New York to Paris. The ultimate lesson here is that while the powerful may believe they are above the law, the truth has a way of surfacing. Until every name in those flight logs is thoroughly investigated, public trust in justice will remain shaken. In the end, the real truth won't be found in social media trends, but in the cold, hard evidence that finally breaks the silence of the elite. In the wake of the Epstein scandal and the release of the Lolita Express flight logs, several of the world's most prominent figures have seen their names linked to this dark network. Among the most notable are former U.S. Presidents Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, as well as the UK's Prince Andrew, who faced some of the most direct and serious allegations. The list also includes Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, world-renowned scientist Stephen Hawking, and Hollywood actors such as Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker, along with pop icon Michael Jackson, all of whom appeared in court documents or flight records. Furthermore, figures like Victoria's secret billionaire Les Wexner, former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak, and numerous international business tycoons and high-profile lawyers were also identified within his circle. While many of these individuals have never been charged with a crime and have strongly denied any wrongdoing, their documented meetings and associations with Epstein continue to be a subject of intense public scrutiny and unanswered questions.